Alrighty, so let's get started. We're really excited to release the new owner home, and thank you all for joining. My name is Charlie, and I work with the sales team here at Pillow. With me today, I'd like to introduce our head of design, Chris Brown, who'll be going over all the new features that are headed your way to your dashboards on pillowhomes.com. We're really excited about this new owner home. We've spent a ton of time taking in all of your feedback and implementing change to provide what we think is a much better experience. The idea was to provide a more friendly, simple interface for our clients, and we're confident that you guys are going to love it. So throughout the presentation, also wanted to note, please feel free to enter any questions you may have in the box to the right, and then we're going to have a Q&A session at the end of the presentation. And with that, Chris is going to take it from here and go through a kind of an interactive demo of the dashboard.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, Charlie. I appreciate the intro. And welcome everyone. As Charlie said, I think we've got a great, a much improved and simpler experience to show you today for how to manage your account and get a lot more visibility into your reservation lifecycle. We'll start with the main screen. Sort of what you'll see is the dashboard as selected at the top. And I'll just sort of outline first, I think, kind of the general sections of the new experience. And so over the top, you'll have kind of the main navigation, which is going to entail your dashboard, your availability calendar, and then your reservations. To the right of that, you'll see a name there. It says J Journeyman. That's going to be your name in your dashboard. And that's going to contain your statements, your payments and billing, and your account information, personal information. And to the left, you'll see then two sections, one Pillow Services and one Property Information. So Pillow Services, which we'll go through in detail, is going to contain cleaning, platforms, and pricing information. And then the Property section is going to contain all of the information about your property that is used to build your listings. So let's go over to the dashboard. In this example, you'll see that there is a current guest in the property, and that's the information at the top. So you're going to get a summary view of who's actively in your property there. Below, you have the information that will always persist on your dashboard, the summary information, where you're going to see earnings and then a running month-to-date total. Below that, you'll see any upcoming reservations. So in this example, there's 3 reservations. And then under that, you'll see any recently completed reservations. And then under that, you'll see recently completed services in your property. And then finally, on the lower right, you'll see a little availability box that's just going to let you know a rolling forward view of your availability rate. And so that's going to give you an idea of how open your calendar is looking ahead. All right, let's move along. So we'll move over to the availability calendar. I think we have a very nice enhancement here where you'll be able to easily see all of your current reservations, and the calendar will hold your prior reservations as well. So you'll be able to move back in time and see any reservation as well as cleaning activity that occurred in your property. So in this example too, we'll look here, you can see now I can select this Airbnb reservation, and on the right I'm going to see some information about that reservation. So this will allow you to sort of interact with this calendar and see who is staying in your property at any given time. You'll also notice there's a little feather icon. That's going to be where every time there's a reservation, we will add that as an indicator that there's a cleaning is scheduled to happen at that time. Just like the current calendar, you can interact with it and set your availability. And so in this example, I've selected these 3 days in the calendar. And now you'll notice to the right that the box changes to give me the option to set that as available or unavailable. I can also override the nightly price just as you can in your current dashboard. So we'll set this to unavailable. And then you'll see that those dates now turn a darker gray to indicate that they're no longer going to be open for guests. And you also notice the stat box on the right corner is updated, and it will give you summary information around how many days are reserved, available, or unavailable for any given month. Moving along, the final main section at the top that we'll look at is called Reservations. And this is going to give you sort of a comprehensive list view of all upcoming reservations in the first tab. The second tab is Completed Reservations, so you'll be able to look back in time at all of your existing reservation history. And then on the far right, you'll see there's a services tab. And this is something new that we're very excited about, which will let you see all of the completed services that happened at your property. And should there be photography that the Pillow Pro took, you'll also be able to see that as well. So in this example, you see that there were 6 photos for this cleaning that happened that you're able to see and look at the quality of the cleaning that way. All right, moving along to the next section, I think we have a much improved view of statements. So you'll notice instantly at the top that you'll see the same general summary information that you have today. So you've got your earnings information and then it broken down by platform. And at the statement level, what you'll get is basically a more of a line item, more of a standard ledger type view for each reservation. And so in this example, you have a HomeAway reservation, and you'll see the breakdown of fees and services there. And you also notice that we're calling out that in this case, like all cleanings that was paid by the guest, it doesn't affect the ledger of the transaction, but we want to indicate that that is who paid for that activity. All right, so that's statements. And those, again, those go back for the history of your account, and you'll have time filters here to be able to control that view. Moving over to the Pillow Services section, let's start with cleaning. And what you'll see here is a way to sort of easily see at the top now who is paying for which parts of the cleaning. And so most of our homeowners prefer for the guests to pay for the cleaning, but you'll notice there are some overrides for some certain supply fees that are available to you here. And so in this example, should you prefer to pay for reservation supplies or linen fees, that number would move over to this side where it would be turned into a debit per reservation for you. But by default, this is what you'll see here where your cleaning base price is set and these controls are available, but would be guessed. Moving along to the platforms page, you'll see here all active platforms are displayed here, as well as guest booking preferences underneath. And so this is going to allow you to control, provide any additional controls that you might like through Airbnb. One reminder in this section is that Instant Book is a preference that is set for all platforms, and that does include some amount of guest verification as well. If you did want to provide or enforce a government ID or a recommendation from another host at the guest level per reservation, you could do that here. And then also the minimum and maximum night stays per reservation are in this section as well. And last section in the services section on the left here, we'll look at pricing. So many of you have already customized your pricing, and so you would not see this by default. You would see the I'll control pricing section selected by default. And this is going to be where you have all of the enhanced controls for your property. And so you'll see the base price here, and then a whole myriad of custom options, including setting a minimum nightly rate, specific pricing for weekdays and weekends, additional fees per guest that you may want to charge, as well as a security deposit. You also find in this section discounts, any long-term monthly or weekly discounts that you wanted to offer. And then lastly, you'll find some standard accounting inputs for HomeAway and the transient occupancy tax. So that concludes the Pillow Services section. I did want to go into a little bit of the property section here. And what we'll look at is the basics, property basics page. And I just wanted to call this out because one thing that might change in your unit frequently could be the Wi-Fi password. And you'll be able to update that here under basics. As well as on this page, you'll see any standard attributes as defined for your property. So one of the last functional areas that I wanted to cover before we open it up to Q&A is the ability or how you can now switch if you are a multiple property owner. And so on your dashboard in the left column under the photo of your current property, you'll see a switch icon. If you click that, you'll get a little popover, and that's going to let you select, and then that will change the entire dashboard metrics and the reservations and everything for that specific property. And lastly, also in that same area, if you did want to add a new vacation property that you would like Pillow to manage, you'll see a little house with a plus icon, and that's going to walk you through a very straightforward process for adding that new property. So that's kind of our summary of where we're at with the current dashboard. If you did have any questions, I would love to help answer those, and I'll go ahead and send it back to Charlie. That concludes our presentation.
Yeah, and thank you, Chris. I obviously appreciate all of your time, and as you mentioned, we want to get through some Q&A. So we're going to give it just a couple minutes here, and then we'll jump into that. And so if you want to answer, input those questions on the right-hand side, we'll get to those in just a second. All right, thank you all. So we have just a few questions here. I want to go through those, and myself and Chris will answer those as best we can. The first question we had was, does the new dashboard keep my old preferences? And the quick answer to that is yes, absolutely. Everything that was in your previous dashboard is going to port over and conform to what the new system shows. So definitely all of your preferences will remain the same. The second question here is, where can I view my amenities? So Chris, you have a...
Yeah, I can help with that. I'll actually show in the prototype here. You'll notice under the property section there is four items. We looked at property basics. There's also kitchen and living, and then an amenities section. And that's going to be where you'll find all of your amenities. And so in this example, I'm showing the properties amenities section. And you'll see here there's heating and air conditioning, home safety, exterior, and then some miscellaneous at the bottom. Also notice that as you add and turn these on, you can add a description or instructions for your guest on that particular amenity. And I don't have this example available, but the kitchen and living section would show the amenities for those areas in your home as well.
Awesome. So the next question was, where can I see my property is being listed?
Yes, and that would be under the booking platforms section under the Pillow services. And so if we click there, you'll see here that there's a little link that says view listing. And then if this was hooked up, that would take you directly to your Airbnb or your home.
And can you toggle, you can obviously toggle those on and off if you wanted to opt out of HomeAway?
That's right. And this would also control which platforms your property is currently listed at.
Fantastic. Cool. All right, the next question was, is the earnings on the dashboard or statements gross or net?
Great question. These are net numbers, and so what you'll see here on your dashboard would be earnings after any fees or services that have been taken out. So this number, as well as the statements that we looked at. So in this example, the net earnings of $9,231.59 would be applied to the last 6 months of this year. And that would also be true for the earnings by booking platform. Those are net numbers as well.
Awesome. Next question. Let's see here. So there was a section I noticed that mentioned the price increase for HomeAway pricing. What does the 7% price shift mean? Is that compared to other platforms' prices?
Yeah, sure. I can help with this one. So essentially, we have a field where in the past we have been defaulting the HomeAway prices up by 7%. And basically, this is to offset the additional HomeAway fees in commission that they're charging. And so now with the new version of the dashboard, we're really excited that we can give some additional self-directed tools so that you as the owner can go in and modify what you'd like that shift to be instead of us defaulting that in the past.
Fantastic. The other question is, can't we list with VRBO and Booking.com? The answer to that is absolutely. So HomeAway and VRBO are actually connected platforms. So by the listing showing that you're on HomeAway, that is absolutely entails that you are on VRBO as well. So those are simultaneous automatically. As far as Booking.com, that is also a platform that we are finalizing integrations with, and in the near future should be able to release that as an additional platform that we'll be integrating with as well. All right, so I think that kind of covers all the questions we had. If there's any other questions that come in, we'd be happy to obviously reach out directly. And at this point, we just again want to thank you all for your time. We highly encourage any continued feedback as well. So feedback that you have, the best way to go would be to follow up with pillowhomes.com/support. Sending in an inquiry there, we'll be able to address those questions and make sure that you guys are getting all the assistance that you need. So again, thank you, Chris, and thank you very much for your time, and hope you guys all have a good day.